Hello everyone. So in this video, let us talk about something really interesting, especially for those people who are new, or I should say, in their journey towards Jira deployment. They want to, of course, roll out Jira, or maybe they want to make Jira rollout a success story. You might be wondering, what exactly is the definition of rollout? Is it like some one big event, or is it something that you do over the period of time? Now, from my experience, there is no clear definition of rollout, uh, and especially in case of Jira, uh, the definition of rollout could be a day when you want your teams to start using Jira instead of some other tool. That definition could be a day when you have everyone in your organization using Jira, not the other tool. Now, usually, not always, usually Jira rollout is not just one event. It is basically something that happens over the period of time, and and especially when there is especially when there is an organization who is already using some of the tools, they already have some processes. They cannot just stop everything that they're doing on day one and move to a new tool, or Jira in this case. Now, when people move to Jira, and I'm talking about covering all the cases where you have trained your users, you have also made sure that they have all the access, they know how to do stuff in Jira, they are familiar with the way you want them to work. I'm talking about the processes that you define. Now the thing is, when it comes to rollouts, usually it is something that you want to do gradually. And as a Jira consultant, as a Jira admin, don't really say to your client or your potential client that yes, by this date you will start using Jira. That rarely happens. Sometimes you will be, because usually when you're dealing with I think there is also a problem when it comes to who you deal with. Now, if you're a Jira consultant and if you're dealing with someone from procurement team, they have absolutely no idea about how Jira works. They probably did some research online by looking at some common things that a tool should do, and then they give you a questionnaire and they ask you to fill it up, and they will ask you maybe by when they can start using Jira. Now, using Jira is not just installing it or signing up on Jira Cloud, because you can do that if you're on Jira Cloud. Then you can do that straight away. But when it comes to actually using it for doing something useful, that can take some time. Now, for, let us say, a typical software development team or technical team, you can do it gradually. You can start asking them to use a tool, maybe along with their current tool, or maybe you can agree on a date when they will start filing new bugs, new stories in Jira, and they will keep their open works in their old tool. Usually I don't really prefer, based on of course my experience, migrating data from old tool to new tool, any tool, to be honest, because when you do that, in a way you are bringing in mess or data that may not be relevant. Even if it is relevant for historical purpose, maybe keep it in a separate project. So whenever you start a Jira rollout, start fresh, start like with a new project in Jira. And also when it comes to service management, that is where I think a rollout can be like a big event. And I've seen some instances. I think I worked for a company once where it was in central London, like a big energy company. Not a big, yeah, I think it's quite big. They basically did like a very mega launch of Jira Service Desk. It used to be Service Desk. On each and every floor, on each and every desk, they had like a small card asking people to start using Jira on this date. And they also organized free lunch or free drinks. That is actually very common here in the UK, which is something that I really appreciate. And that is basically a way for the IT team or the CTO to tell everyone that yes, on this date, start using Jira, and we are going to not use ServiceNow or Remedy or Sharewell. I know there are so many tools, service desk based tools. So that actually works really well for Jira Service Desk or service management, because for multiple reasons. Number one, um, because when it comes to service type of request or ITSM, there is like you don't really see tickets that are like open for like 2 months, or you don't really have like epics and stories, and you plan the epics and then you brainstorm it and then you break it down into stories and you plan it using sprints. Usually when it comes to tickets, you resolve it, right? So there are SLAs. So it is actually much more easier uh, to start fresh immediately, or I should say on a specific date, because there is no real transition happening. For the end users, they will raise tickets using customer portal, or maybe they will send an email to support at your company address, and that email will then go to Jira Service Management instead of your old tool. Or maybe you will follow some other methods, like maybe you have some APIs. But when it comes to software development, it is much more complicated. So when we talk about rollout in Jira, rollout potentially can work like one big event, but there are some other cases where you also need to uh, notify everyone in your organization, or at least everyone who is in your scope, because there are, like, if you're working as a Jira consultant for a very big company like a bank or a corporate, most likely they will have multiple Jira instances, and even if they have multiple Jira instances, there will be cases where one user uh, will have access to multiple Jira instances, and there will be teams who will be doing stuff in multiple Jira instances. That can also happen. So in those cases, again, you can't really decide on a specific date when you can start using Jira for a specific team. Maybe they need migration. Usually in banks, usually in corporates, they want to preserve their old data, and they want to keep historical information for compliance reasons. So it is actually adding like a lot more complications, because you have to do these things on Jira staging environment. Then you have to ask for their you will of course test and ask for their approval. When they give you the approval, then of course you go live on a specific date, and when you go live, you have to make sure that on that particular date you have all the old data in the tool. So usually you have to do these activities on a weekend, and when you're going live, you would probably do it of course for a specific team, for a set of users. So when it comes to Jira rollout, there is no definition. It really depends on what you want to do, who is doing what in Jira, and what tools are they using. If of course you are new, let us say there is a team who is currently doing things in Excel, right? Then it is a bit easy, because in Excel usually people don't really have like well-defined processes. So you can definitely move everything to Jira, do a migration, and ask people. Like usually it happens with like non-technical teams. They don't really always have a tool to work on for their task management, project management. So you can probably just do like one event, you can decide on a day that, okay, from this date onwards, do everything in Jira and forget about your Excel sheets. But what I'm trying to say in this video is that uh, if you're a consultant, I'm making this video for a consultant, or maybe if you're someone who is responsible for rolling out Jira, maybe you are the client, or you're that person, like CTO, for example, or tools owner. Don't look at your Jira rollout as like one single event. It's a process. It's like, what is the right word? It's basically an ongoing activity that will happen over months. All right, that is it. I hope I have given you some ideas in this video, and do let me know if you are in a similar situation where you want to roll out Jira and you're not really sure what exactly that rollout will look like. I will probably make one more video, or maybe a couple of more videos, where I will talk about what should be your definition of success when it comes to Jira rollout. Because just because you installed Jira and you started using it doesn't really mean that it is working. Maybe your previous tool was better. So maybe you're just using Jira for the sake of it, right? So there has to be like some. It is not easy. It is not easy, but try to measure. Try to measure if you can, like your Jira rollout success. And yeah, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.